So what happens when an aging narcissist runs out of supply? What happens, y'all? What happens when that narcissistic person, that toxic narcissistic person is getting older and they can no longer get supply the same way that they used to? So if you're new here, my name is Lee Hammock. I'm a clinically diagnosed narcissist, and I give you the perspective of a narcissist, y'all. That's what I'm here for. And no intro today. But what happens when what happens to narcissists as they get older and they can no longer get that sweet nectar, the sweet nectar that is narcissistic supply? What the sweet nectar sound like a little narcissistic bee, right? Buzzing around the supply, the narcissistic bee buzzing around the supply. What happens? But what does happen? A lot of people struggle with seeing what goes on in these situations right here, y'all. Let me say this. Let me get this out of the way right now. Narcissists do not get better as they get older, typically. Let's get that out of the way. So y'all hear that loud and clear. Narcissists do not get better as they get older. So if you with a younger narcissist right now that's 25 and you trying to stick it out, maybe they just need to grow up. Maybe they just need to get better. Well, you're going to be mad as hell at yourself when y'all are 60 and they're still doing the same damn stuff. You be mad as hell. You do not grow out of a personality disorder. You just do. From what I've researched, you do not just grow out of it. You're like, I just need to grow up and stop being toxic. I'm going to do that. No, you don't get unless you go to some intense psychotherapy like myself. You don't grow out of these personality traits. It's a personality. Yeah, it's a personality disorder. It's very difficult to change your personality. I'll say that. It's very difficult to change your personality at its core. It just is. So, as a narcissist gets older, typically, an aging narcissist, when they run out of supply, they're losing their minds, because the narcissistic people, we cannot internally validate. If you don't know what narcissistic supply is, for me, as a diagnosed narcissist, you don't know what narcissistic supply is. It is literally just external validation. This is why I look at it. It's external validation from an outside source. Narcissists cannot internally validate. We are our own biggest critics. We are our own biggest critics. We really literally are. We cannot internally validate. We need some external validation. We need somebody to tell us how great we are. We need somebody to validate how we feel and how we are acting. We need all of that, right? So if you're dealing with a narcissist, they're always looking for narcissistic supply. They're getting something from you. They're getting some type of validation from you. And over the years, right? How they get supply, like the supply that they get from you, the validation that they get from you is going to run out, y'all. It's going to run out or run low. It might not run out, but it's going to run very low, and it won't feel the same to that narcissist, right? Let's just say this is the quick example I give. Like at the beginning of a relationship, me and you got together. This is my favorite green shirt, right? And I put the green shirt on. And you say, you my partner, right? You like, Lee, I love that green shirt on you. Like your shoulders. Woo, yeah, I love it. I love that green shirt. Yes. And I'm like, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. It's my favorite shirt. That's why I got it. I love this shirt, right? Now, over time, let's just say we've been together for 5 years. Whatever I get from you is running. It doesn't feel the same anymore. So now I put the green shirt on. You say the same thing. Babe, you know what that green shirt does to me. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I like it too. You see, I gave a different reaction. Now I leave the house. Let's say we leave the house together. We walk down the street. Now another woman sees it. She's like, hey, that green shirt looks good on you. I'm like, this whole thing, appreciate it. You see that different reaction right there, because it's a stranger, because this person doesn't know me. The validation feels different. It feels unique. It's new. Right? It's newness. It's a new form of validation I just got from that person right there. Same shirt, same words, literally just different source. And that matters to narcissists. But I'll say this as well, y'all. As they get older, their need for supply increases, because as we get older, let's just say I get supply from how I look, right? And this is not me trying to say anything about myself, but like, let's say you're a narcissistic partner or parent or whoever it is you're dealing with, friend. They get supply from how they look, how they're perceived by the world. Like, that people think that they look good, right? So as they get older and they start looking less good, right? Through their own lens, they're getting older. They're losing their muscle definition. They're losing their body or whatever. If it's a woman, they're losing their looks or whatnot, right? And they get to the point where they're like, damn, I don't look good no more. You see, now they're starting to panic, because now how are they supposed to get supply? You see, as they get older and they lose their methods, their normal methods of getting supply, what happens? Some of them panic. And whoever's around a narcissist, whoever's the closest person to them, if you're in a relationship with them, sometimes this is when they start self-sabotage in a huge way. So when they're running out of supply, when an aging narcissist is running out of supply or runs out of supply, they start to panic and self-destruct their lives. This right here is a common phenomenon that happens. Like, they will start to panic and self-destruct their own lives, blowing everything up. This is why sometimes you'll see them leave a 25-year marriage out of nowhere. Like, literally for no reason. Y'all haven't been arguing, haven't been fussing, fighting. They'll leave a 25-year marriage because they need to go live their lives. They never lived, right? Because they're running out of supply. The fear of not being able to get some type of validation, that newness has run out. Now they're going to go crazy. So when an aging narcissist runs out of supply or is running out of supply, the people around them are going to get treated so bad. So bad. Y'all ever had a lot of times you'll see, a lot of times who you'll see this with is your narcissistic grandparents. If you have a grandparent that is highly narcissistic, you would describe, typically you'll hear people describe them as mean, nasty. My grandma is mean as hell. My grandpa is a horrible human being. We love him because it's grandpa. That's Grandpa Lee. But our grandpa is awful. He is a nasty ass old man. He just evil to everybody. That's because they run out of supply. So now, guess what happens? They have to seek some other form of supply. They have to seek some other form of validation. So what they do is they start trying to trigger people around them. At least I might not be able to get some validation in the bedroom. You might not tell me I look good anymore, but guess what? Now I have some type of control over people. I realize I still have an effect on people's emotions. So when a narcissist gets older, they switch up how they get supply. So a lot of times in these older generations, they instead of looking good and having money or whatever, they'll be mean as hell, y'all. They can get validation through triggering people. Your mean, nasty ass grandma or grandpa is now triggering everybody around them. Is now antagonizing, being intentionally antagonistic to everybody around them, because this is how they get supply now. They are literally trying to trigger people and get people angry as hell around them. Because now they know there's some type of control. At least I have some type of control now. At least I have some type of power. I might be older and can't walk and can't get around, don't look as good, don't have no money no more. I can't get the narcissistic supply from new supply. But what I can do is trigger people on purpose. I can be a nasty ass old man. I can be a just grinchy ass old woman. You see, when an aging narcissist runs out of supply, they will start to do crazy ass things. They'll start, if they do have money, they'll start threatening people with their will. I'm going to leave you out of the will. I'm not going to give you an inheritance. You will get no inheritance from me. You don't deserve it. I'm going to leave this house to my cat. When I pass away, none of y'all dirty ass kids or grandkids are getting anything. I'm leaving the house to the cat, to the dog, to the bat sanctuary. They're going to have bats hanging all in here. You see how crazy that sounds right there? But sometimes they'll get older, they get spiteful, they get meaner because they can't get that supply anymore the same way that they used to. Now, some of the older ones with money, they'll try to spend it on some young supply. I'll just say that. They'll go out there and try to get some prostitutes, some prostitutes to fulfill that need right there. But a lot of them just get older and they get nasty. They get nasty. They get nasty. That's how Trump said that. Nasty woman. She's a nasty woman. But that's what goes on right there, y'all. That's a part of it right there. That's why it's so hard dealing with narcissistic people, dealing with toxic people, because they're going to be doing things like this, saying things like that. They're going to be, whatever narcissistic can do to get older, they will start when they get older, they will try to find a new way to get supply. They will try to find a new way to seek that validation, because as it runs out, they're going to start losing it, and everybody around them is going to start getting treated worse, y'all. I can say that that's clear and present right there, that everybody around a narcissist, as they get older, is going to get treated worse. This is what's going to happen. They might be nice. Look, again, I'll say this in closing right here, y'all. Sometimes, in order to get supply and trigger people, they'll start, like, if a narcissistic older person has grandkids, they'll be nice to the grandkids. They'll skip over their own children and start being nice to their grandkids. They'll start love bombing their grandkids. They'll start doing things for their grandkids that they intentionally didn't do, that they knowingly didn't do for their own kids. And now the grandkids want to go to grandma's house or grandpa's house. So grandma or grandpa that is viewed as nasty or mean by everybody else, the grandkids love them because they're getting because now the grandkids are getting something from them. They're treating the grandkids nice. You see how much of a game that is, y'all? You see how manipulative that is right there? How the older grandparents will treat the grandkids good in order to trigger their own kids, but also get that validation from their grandchildren. They'll start seeking validation from the people around them in different ways and start trying to trigger people around them at the same time. So you see how they get two different forms of supply in that example right there. How they're both triggering their own kids and getting that validation and supply from their the grandkids. But anyway, y'all, I got a one-on-one. I gotta hop off here and do this one-on-one, y'all. Check out mentalhealness.net for everything Lee Hammock. We have our next workshop. Our next in-person workshop is in Atlanta, Georgia, on June 28th, Atlanta, Georgia. June 28th, Atlanta, Georgia. We coming your way for our next in-person and virtual workshop. It's called Take Flight. It's about healing from narcissistic abuse. You don't want to miss this workshop, y'all. Again, mentalhealness.net/events for the workshop. Mentalhealness.net for everything else. Hit that subscribe button too, y'all. Peace. What up, y'all? What up? Before you leave, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't. It just helps us reach more people. Also, everything I have is available at mentalhealness.net. My coaching, my courses. I have a couple of courses that can help you understand and help you heal. And I also have a support group, all available at mentalhealness.net. Check my site out for everything, y'all, and I will see y'all later. Peace.